And welcome back to part 8. Yeah, I checked earlier, but I'm actually blanking on which part this is. I think we're on part 8 or 7 now of what if Jaden was the lead of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Oh, I'm looking it up right now, but I'll look it up at the end to correct myself for which part we are in right now. But more to the point is that where we left off in the virtual world arc is, and which one was it? Part 7? We're on part 7. That's right, part 7. Is that we left off with Jaden beating Gansley, him meeting up with everyone, and a lot of, again, Jaden's personality is different from Yugi's to a certain degree. It's not drastically different enough that it should affect any sort of stuff, at least in the virtual world arc. Jaden, again, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Jaden's personality from base Yugi is different. He's a lot more outgoing. He's nowhere near as intelligent as Jaden, let's be honest. As Yugi, let's be honest. Yugi actually looks like he probably passes his grades pretty well, or pretty effectively in school. I'm not saying he's an straight A student, but I think he gets solid grades. Jaden, it's clear he doesn't. But Jaden's a lot more maybe a headstrong. He's compared to the two. Actually, compared to all of the five main Yu-Gi-Oh! Series duelists, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6 duelists, because we got Yugi, Jaden, Fusei. Yeah, why am I blanking on his name? Something Fusei. Yuki. No. Yusei. Yusei Fudo. That's it. Yusei from 5Ds. Crap. Yuya is the XZ's one from Zexel. And oh god, I forget the other one. And then you have Playmaker. So you have of all 6 of them, only Fusei. Only him. Yeah. Why am I blanking on his name? Fusei. I just said it too. Yusei Fudo. There it is. Only Yusei Fudo is the only other one I could see maybe actually getting into a straight fist fight with someone. Jaden, I don't think that would happen. But if he were to get in a physical fight, he'd be a lot more inclined to be physical. He's not Joey or Tristan in that sense. But I think he would definitely stand up for himself. But again, he's also, I think, a lot more bubbly, fun, and has just a lot more confidence in himself. But it doesn't really translate much when we're talking about the actual game itself, in terms of the personality. In terms of their personality, in terms of how the show and story would work. Now, that said, however, one thing we can address right now is the Big 5 fight. And I mean the Big 5 fight, where Joey and Jade, in this case, teamed up against the Big 5. And so, now I guess the question is, would Yugi have been able to beat the Big 5 on his own? That's for Anime TCG, I believe it is. Let's I hope they do. I hope he does a video on that at some point. He's done a couple of the virtual world duels so far, but actually, I think he only did one. Now I think about it, did he only do one? I think he only did one. Those were a fun duel. Like, the virtual world arc is a fun arc. Anyway, though, the Big 5 possess Tristan's body, and they're all dueling both Jaden and Yugi. And basically, the way the turn order goes is this. It goes Big 5, Joey, in this case, Jaden. So the Big 5 go first. Gansley is in the driver's seat. He starts off by playing a legendary Ocean, and then summons a legendary the legendary Fisherman. Joey puts Alligator Sword into defense mode and ends his turn. Now it would be up to Jaden. And Jaden's opening hand consists of the Silent... Where is it? Come on, there it is. The Silent Doom. Oh, sorry, I forgot to also mention his deck master. He chooses, for his deck master, Elemental Hero Electro. Now, there's a specific reason I went... Well, there's several specific reasons I went with this. But I wanted him to choose a fusion monster, and I felt that was actually good. Heated Heart... So anyway, his opening hands consists of Heated Heart... Silent Doom, Elemental Hero Bubble Man, Hero Ring, as soon as I can get that up here, Hero Ring, and there we go, and Elemental Hero Clayman. His opening Elemental Hero Clayman. His opening draw ends up being Hero Kid. So, what is Jaden's first play? Well, Jaden's going to start with his opening play here, putting Bulbman into defense mode. Now, immediately, he says, now, and this activates my deck, one of my Deckmaster's static ability. It's like, all my elemental heroes all my elemental heroes on the field get 500 extra attack points. And defense points. So Bulbman's actually coming out on the field with a defense of 1,800 and an attack of 1,300. But that's not all. When Bulbman enters the battlefield, I get to draw 2 new cards. When I have nothing on the battlefield. Yeah, sorry. When Bulbman enters the battlefield and I have nothing else on the battlefield, I get to draw 2 new cards. The 2 cards Jaden draws are Rottweiler and Miracle Fusion. So, and right above the Deckmaster, please. Thank you. There we go. So, those get added to his hand. Jaden sets his hero's ring onto the battlefield, and he ends his turn for right now. And Clayman, where are you, my friend? There you are. Clayman. There we go. Clayman. Close enough. So anyway, the turn now moves over to Gansley. Gansley and attacks Jaden, but Jaden decides to immediately activates Hero Ring, which we've established in here. The anime is going to work a little differently. It's simply because normally it has to be used on a monster with 1,900 attack, or I think it was 1,900 attack, or like less than 15. Just enlarging that real quick to read it. Target warrior monster field at 15 less attack. Equip this card to monsters your opponent control with 19 more attack. Can't attack the equipped monster. So actually, this would work on Bulbman in this scenario. But I changed the effect for the anime. It's a temporary effect, but it can work on any monster, and just stronger monsters can't just attack it. And so the attack fizzles with the legendary fisherman. But he also summons Catapult Turtle. Now it was to be Joey's turn. Joey draws. He draws Kunai with Chain, sets it, and summons Cyber Harpy. Jaden's draw is, honestly, it's not going to matter too much what the draw is here. I'll explain to that in a little bit, but his draw is the warrior returning alive. Jaden looks at his hand real quick, makes his choices, summons Clayman into defense mode as well. Now, you might be wondering, well, why doesn't he just fuse? He got Miracle Fusion out on the field. He could make Elemental Hero Mudball Man. Well, the very basic answer to that is Mudball Man would not be a good hero in this scenario. Add on to the fact that it would take out Bulbman and Clayman from play right now. But he does also, I will say, Jaden does also set his Miracle Fusion on the field as well. So should note that in this case, this is gone. We will make some room here. So yeah, so he does set his Miracle Fusion on the battlefield. And ends his turn. Right now, there's not much you can do, but Clayman is a huge-ass wall. So, now it goes back to Gansley, and Gansley goes to attack, sorry, I am missing my place here, yep, sorry, there you go. Gansley attacks again, however, Kunai Chain is activated, switching him to defense mode, and he then sets Magician of Faith, as we both know, as we know from the original. Joey plays Harpy's Feather Duster, and he destroys the legendary fisherman by attacking with Harpy. And then he also attacks the face down Magician of Faith. He gets his spell back. And gets his legendary ocean back again. Now, this is where I'll say this. I initially planned to use a plot armor for this. But I actually chose against it because it would be very hard to track what the cards would be otherwise. Because at this turn, this is one of those turns where Jaden, where Yugi played card of destruction, and yeah, it's because of that. Yeah, he There's nothing. There's no way I can figure out. There's no way I could really figure out which card he would draw otherwise. Granted, you can kind of figure it out, but still, I felt it was just fine to have card destruction used again. Jade draws card destruction because remember they are making decks from cards that are in the database, which means these cards. So Jade, they can make whatever deck they want. So Jaden getting card destruction, I think would actually work fine. So he plays card destruction. So he has to discard Silent Doom. He discards his Hated Heart. He discards his Hero Kid. He discards his Rottweiler. And he discards his Warrior Returning Alive, which now begs the question, what cards does he actually have in his hand? And I just got rid of one of them. Man, I am a mess. So one of the cards, so he draws Wing Karibo, level 10. Obviously a very useful card when you do not have Wing Karibo and Transcendent Wings. And you can't hear my sarcasm. That was sarcasm. It's a good card if you can get it to go off. But otherwise, not so much. Jaden also draws Elemental Hero Sparkman. And then he drew up. And then he also draws Skyscraper. And did I do the card right here? Hold on one second. I'm just looking at the cards when I listened. That's he actually drew. Now I realize because I was using a randomizer here. He ends up drawing his other two copies of Hero Kits. So just pretend the Hero Kits are in the hand. They're not serving a really big point in this at this point. So what Jaden does do, however, is he summons Elemental Hero Sparkman. Now he keeps Clayman in defense mode because 2,500 defense, that's not something you want to screw up. Unless you feel you can actually go for game. But Jaden does switch Bubbleman into attack mode as well. We're going to move that over here real quick. This is still set. And he destroys Cannibal Toro with his Bubbleman, and then he hits Scansley for 2,000. Actually, wouldn't it be? No, sorry, it'd be Crump at this point. It is Crump at this point. I have to apologize. They switched up at this point. So because he's pumping everything, all his water monsters by 200. But just Sparkman is able to get over Catapult Turtle. If I'm not mistaken, he'd be able to get over Catapult Turtle. If not, I can't. You know what? Did I make a mistake here? Because Crump would be destroyed. He switched that. Crump. You know, I might have made a slight judgment error on here. Let's just, for hypothetical sake, say that Cannibal Turtle still gets destroyed. Because that actually does cause a bit of an issue right here. So, yeah. Cannibal Turtle is destroyed and Bubbleman hits for 1,300, which brings them down to 6,700. Or 6,700. Unfortunately, this is where the third member of the Big Five comes in with Johnson, who was the legal representative of the team, with his deckmaster, the Judge Man. This allows them to use his ability to pay 1,000 life points, bringing it down to 5,700, and use his ability called Clear the Courtroom, where he destroys every monster on the opponent's side of the field, and they lose 500 life points. This, unfortunately, means that, and I'm going to actually put Bubbleman gone, but I'm actually going to put, let's just call this the graveyard right here for right now. So these guys are stuck in the graveyard. Not you. So these guys are stuck in the graveyard. That's going to become important in just a moment. But yeah, so Bubbleman, though, is destroyed. And Jaden, unfortunately, takes 15 points of damage, putting him down to 25. Joey takes 1,000. He summons Hysteric Angel. He attacks Joey as he does in the original. A, for a bit of revenge, and B, because I think Joey is the weaker link of this. And then ends his turn. Joey goes, summons Rocket Warrior, uses his Swordsman effect, destroys Hysteric Angel, which equals to about 700 points worth of damage. This brings him down to 5,000. Unfortunately, this is where Johnson activates the Ruler Sacrifice, and Rock Warrior gets sacrificed, and the Machine King gets summoned. However, Jaden summons one. Jaden draws. It's Jaden's turn. He draws and yeah, he draws. All right, there it was. Sorry, he draws Solemn Judgment. He sets it along with he sets it along with his Hero Rising. He summons one of his hero kids in defense and ends his turn. Johnson goes. He's about to destroy, attack, but Joey. Well, sorry. Let me rephrase that one more time. He uses Heavy Storm in this moment to wipe the field, but Jaden decides to use his Solemn Judgment to protect his Miracle Fusion because he feels it's going to be very important later. And he's not wrong. Now, actually, I could, and this is just anime at the moment right now, I could have done the Miracle Fusion right here, right now. But I think I just chose reasoning, whatever it is, for a bit more of effect that he kind of waits on it. So Solemn Judgment, and just for that, I'm going to attack you, Jaden. Wait, you idiot! And it's like, no, don't do it to Johnson! You fool, you could have wiped out Joey Wheeler and we would have had an automatic body. You don't look at me. And it's like, yeah, you're an idiot, Johnson. So yeah, it's like, yeah, all right, yeah, it's my turn, Jaden. All right, I summon Panther Warrior in defense mode. And then Jaden goes. His draw is Fusion. I didn't put Fusion Gate here. Anyway, his draw is Fusion Gate. This is at this point where he activates Miracle Fusion. And he uses Miracle Fusion on his Sparkman and his Clayman in his graveyard. This obviously brings out Elemental Hero Thunder Giant to the field. Now, because they're under Battle City rules, Thunder Giant can't attack the turn it's summoned. But it can still use its effect, which Jaden does, to discard the Fusion Gate he has in his hand and destroy Machine King. Now, at this point, Johnson actually doesn't have anything. He's actually got to wait, if I'm not mistaken, a whole turn, if I am right in remembering. No, actually, I'm not mistaken on that. Anyway, Joey played Panther Warrior, sets drop off. This is where Lecter takes over with his Deckmaster Jinzo. He plays Pot of Greed, summons Injection Fairy Lily, dropping their life points down to the even 3,000 because he's got to use Injection Fairy Lily to destroy Thunder Giant. Jaden takes 500 damage. Lecter, I always like saying because he's very southern. Lecter lost 2,000, but he plays Sovek's Blessing, getting 500 of it back, so he's at 3,500. Jaden's down to 750. Joey's not doing much better at 1,200. He sets Gravity Bind. Joey plays Jinzo at that point, and wipes him out. Then they move basically both their Joey. Joey moved. Wait, what's going on here? What did I get wrong here? Summons Jaden summons Wild Heart attacks. Did I miss something with this now? Plays Pocket Sun's Fairy Lily. Sorry, I'm just going over my notes right now. Destroys Thunder Giant. Lecter destroys with Jinja. Destroys Joy. Actually, now I actually know what Joey would do here. Now I know what Joey would do here. He would attack with his Jinzo for Fairy Lily. Fairy Lily would then... Lecter has to now make a choice. Lose 2,000 life points and lose his monster, or lose 2,000 life points and keep his monster. And he chooses keep his monster. So, Jinzo is destroyed. He loses 200. He's down to 200 life. Jaden, though, summons Wild Heart. Gets the 500... Oh, sorry. I forgot to bring out Wild Heart here. Jaden now summons Wild Heart to the field. And Thunder Giant is destroyed. And because he summons out Wild Heart immune to traps, he summons out Wild Heart. Gets 500 extra points thanks to Electrum here. He swings in, destroys Lily. Because Lily, he just doesn't have life points. And that puts Lecter down to 100 life points now. Or puts the big five down to... Well, actually, technically speaking, this was the end of the big five here. But Lecter's little life point play actually probably would have been, let's just say they're down to 100. I have clearly messed some things up here. I don't know what I did. I'm not sure where I messed up, but we're just going with it. It's the anime. Sometimes you don't play your best. So let's just assume the big five are down to 100 life points. So unfortunately then, Lecter and the big five pull out their big daddy trump card. With the combination of, was it Alter, something, I can't remember it, they summon out their boss monster, Five-Headed Dragon. Just so you're clear, Five-Headed Dragon, there it is, awesomeness. Wipes out everything on the field, they can't attack with it the turn it gets summoned. And so, trusting in Jaden, Joey sends out sets 2 cards, sends out his Flame Swordsman. Now, Jaden draws, and I forgot to put this on here, but he draws Burstinatrix. He sends out Elemental Hero Electrum. Now, Elemental Hero Electrum, remember, we have a creature who's got a Deckmaster ability, plus his other ability. Elemental Hero Electrum gets 300 attack for each attribute, each fire, wind, water, and earth monster the opponent controls, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I'm just going to reread that real quick. Elemental Hero Electrum. Just so I can reread the card and make sure I'm not screwing anything up here. And this is basically their final game plan right now. So one moment here. Elemental Hero Electrum is fusion summon, can't be special summoned by other ways. While face up in the field, this card is also a wind, water, fire, and earth attribute monster. When this card is fusion summoned, shuffle all banished cards into the deck. And this card gains 300 for each monster your opponent controls that shares an attribute with this card. Now, because the five-headed god dragon, I think that's his name, has all but light, it shares 4 elements with Elemental Hero Electrum, which means it gains automatically, just by being summoned, 400 attack or 1,200 attack points, making it 4,100. It also gains an extra 500 attack points from its own effect. Jaden then plays Skyscraper. This gives it an extra 1,000 attack points when it owned Wild Heart's destroyed. 5,000 attack points, 100 attack points when attacking a stronger monster. In the anime, that goes in reverse too. And Five-Headed God Dragon can only be destroyed by a creature of light. So he, comes in with Electrum, goes in for the attack, destroys God Dragon, but he activates the final ability, or final trick, which summons out Berserk Dragon instead as their new deck master, and ends their turn. Unfortunately, this does mean that Joey is, out in the open, but it actually really doesn't matter because we know Berserk Dragon can attack 4 times. Tries to go after Joey. We know Joey had a silver dollar trap there. So, yeah, they boned. Because now Jaden just comes in. Granted, Electrum loses. In fact, Electrum loses 1,200 attack points. So he's only at 3,400. And Berserk Dragon does lose the 300 attack. Now, originally, I had done the math wrong on this, by the way. But originally what it was is that Joey, they had more life points than this. They had like 1,500. I messed up along the way on this. And so Joey was going to basically transfer the majority of his swordsman attack to Jaden, which will bring out the 3,900. And then Jaden would use the last ability of his Deckmaster, because a Deckmaster like this would probably have more than one Deckmaster ability, and return all banished cards from his graveyard, or from his banished land, back into his deck, and gain an extra 500 from that as well. And that would be the finishing move here. Point being is that Electrum would actually probably be a pretty powerful Deckmaster. And ultimately, Jaden and Joey win the duel against the Big Five. They are sore losers. They once again try to steal their bodies. Doesn't go over well. Noah takes care of them. Toot sweet. And that would be all she wrote. And that's all we would see about from Jaden, really, Jaden and Yami, until we get to the Kaiba Noah duel, where Noah also cheated. But yeah, you don't get called out for your own cheating, Noah. No. Oh, and there I am, by the way. So I actually didn't intend to put me there. I just was doing that offhandedly. And so Jaden would ultimately take over in the duel for Noah, or for Kaiba. And actually, I think we're not going to stop here. I think we'll at least talk about that duel. Mostly because I don't really see the need to do that duel. That duel is a weird duel. It's a great duel. It's a fun duel, but it's a bit of a weird one. And to kind of cover that would be very odd. So, because he's combining decks together, that's just crazy. We could go over a little bit. So we know, I believe, Yugi had summoned a monster in defense mode. He then drew Cyberjar, which is, this is one of Kaiba's cards. And he was able to ultimately use that to come back, summoning out his own monsters to start with. He then trusted the Heart of Cards, brought out Card of Sanctity, and drew the other two Blue Eyes, Monster Reborn, all that. More than likely, that's what would happen here. When Noah tries to attack Jaden, the Pharaoh and the Million Puzzle neg him, repel him. So, yeah, ultimately, there's not much to really have to go over there. And then the rest of the arc is really Kaiba's arc, so there's not much to talk about there. I will also say this. I don't think I'm going to go over the four-way duel they had. There's just no real point in doing that, I think. It's going to still be the matchups we want, where Jaden and Kaiba will be duking it out, and Joey and Merrick will be duking it out. So really, what we're going to catch up with after this is the Kaiba Jaden duel, where Jaden actually has Slifer the Sky Dragon in his deck. And where I now actually have to make some changes to Jaden's deck. I think you're gonna see a couple big changes to accommodate Slifer in there. But anyway, yeah, Jaden obviously would be rooting on Joey the whole time, but ultimately Joey falls. It's not fair to him, and I don't think Jaden would be as cryy, let's be honest, crying much as Yugi did. He'd still be mourning his friend, absolutely, because technically he's dead. In the original, he's dead. But here it's more like, yeah, he'll be back. We got to focus on Kaiba. And so that's where we're going to leave part 7, is Jaden and Kaiba's big duel. Now, seeing as I've now gone through the anime here of the filler of the fake words of the virtual arc, there's two things that need to get revealed. One, there was a certain little demonic someone. We'll call them demonic. Technically, Yubel is both genders and no gender. But yes, Yubel actually was there in the virtual arc. Because remember how Yubel had to coming back into the world in the series. She was using the energy of duelists. She was using technology to basically bring herself into the real world and bring herself back. Here, I can see something similar happening there. It just wasn't really. I think I could see her finding aid in Noah Kaiba and Gozaburo to a certain degree, but then ultimately it failed, and she kind of goes maybe, but she got enough energy to start slowly feeding on the shadows. So yes. Yubel is going to show up at some point. I've made that decision. Because I find it interesting that the Supreme King and the Pharaoh both existed in the same world, in the same timeline. Not at the same time, but in both. Now the question is, who's stronger, the Supreme King or the Pharaoh? I think we all agree it's probably going to be Yami. Because while the Supreme King possesses the Gentle Darkness, the Gentle Darkness really doesn't. Hold on. That's a Yugioh thing to look up, but I'm actually going to look that up. The Gentle Darkness. Hold on. Because it's like the Light of Destruction. What does it actually do except possess it? The Gentle Darkness from Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay. The purpose of the Gentle Darkness inside of Supreme King was to combat the is the power that Jaden Yuki, that is the true power of the Supreme King. The universe was created, is divided into dark and light, and the light waves consumed the world. Darkness filled the universe and eliminated the chaotic light, allowing the light to flourish. However, light and darkness threatened to invade it. It's actually, see, I do like the weird parallel here that usually light is the good and the darkness is the bad. Here it actually is very much the reverse. But hold on, the king informed Yubel that certain held dental art and that he needed a guardian to watch over until he held control his power. Jaden wasn't referred to during his reign. That doesn't tell me what the gentle darkness does. That just tells me what the gentle darkness is. I mean, okay, abilities, gentle darkness. What does the gentle darkness do? Come on, Jaden, incredible luck, energy ability, athletic abilities. Jaden has the gentle darkness and so on, which gives them the power to see and hear dual monster spirits and control them. This is the main power that is used by a Supreme King that Jaden inherited from his past life. So you're seriously, all this hype about the gentle darkness. And okay, when he materializes dual spirits, he can make them even stronger. Yubel's power allows him to sense people's thoughts and emotions, see visions of the future, and protects him from others' supernatural powers like hypnosis and Night Shroud's influence. Yubel's powers also lets him quickly figure out that unless it's masquerading as a person. Jane takes some Sinkai's Yubel, the Supreme King, when manifesting either of their abilities. Okay, so Yubel's powers are actually pretty impressive. Gentle darkness is bullshit in terms of powers. Yes, it repels the light of destruction, but it's kind of bull. At least from the description I'm getting. Maybe somebody can fill me in on what it can do beyond dual monster spirit stuff, but that's a pretty lousy power. I mean, it's cool. When I say that, I do mean in the sense of, I'm going to tap into the gentle darkness to fight you in this duel. Cool, what are you going to do? I can see spirits. And they're all around us. And it's like, one's a rock. It's a big rock. It's like, did you get any amp from this? Maybe. It's like I'm doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. Anyway, yes. Yubel, I think right now Yubel is feeding on the shadow magic. And I honestly think she might be even feeding on Merrick, like Dark Merrick. Not normal Merrick, but Dark Merrick right now. So yes, Yubel is around. And I have decided I'm going to use Yubel. Now, interacting the concept of the Supreme King and the Pharaoh, that is going to be a unique little scenario. When we get to that, we'll get to that. She's not going to show up in Battle Study. Battle Study, we're still leaving for Kaiba and Merrick. Those are the big ones left. I'm thinking before after the Ori Calicos, but before the dawn of the duel. That's what I'm thinking. That way Yubel can actually maybe play a part in that if she's brought over to their side, which, let's be honest, she probably will be. Anyway, I digress. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for indulging that for a little bit. Let me know what the Gentle Darkness does besides dual spirit shenanigans. Because all I get, the main power is to inherited a whole life while the Supreme King persona quickly established his own mark. Supposedly the power created the Dark Fusion spell and the Yubel's counterparts. Foreseeing Jaden can use it to materialize dual spirits and the powers. Now as the sorry, all I'm seeing is stuff with dual spirits, which would really not matter in this scenario. I digress. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.